Have you ever gotten a payday loan? They're not cool. It's not fun to admit getting one, but if you have a financial emergency, it can really be helpful. Medical bills, unexpected car repair, maybe one of your kids got into some trouble. You never know. But a payday loan can solve your problem, at least temporarily. But remember, they're designed to make you pay a whole lot more than you borrowed, basically for as long as possible. And Fisker got a payday loan today. Let's talk about it. Here's your first Fisker 8K of 2, and you know me, I'll just highlight what needs to be highlighted. The gross amount of proceeds to us from the offering was $3,456,000. We intend to use the proceeds from the offering solely to finance expenses consistent with the approved budget as defined in the notes. The following is intended to provide a summary of the terms of the agreements and securities described above. This summary is qualified in its entirety by reference to the full text of such documents, each of which incorporated herein by reference and included as an exhibit to this current report on Form 8K. The securities purchase agreement obligates us to indemnify the investor and various related parties for certain losses, including those resulting from any misrepresentation or breach of any representation or warranty made by us, any breach of obligation, or certain claims by third parties. The notes are issued as senior obligations. We issued $3,456,000 in aggregate principal amount of notes. Upon our delivery of an additional closing notice to the investor, if elected by the investor, not Fisker, we may consummate additional closings up to $4,044,000 in aggregate principal amount of the new notes, which we refer to herein as the additional notes. Let's talk about collateral. The notes are and will be senior secured obligations of the company and certain of our direct and indirect wholly owned subsidiaries. All payments due under the notes will be pari passu of all additional notes, which means paid along with or beside, and senior to all other indebtedness of the company. Maturity date. The notes will mature on June 24th. We are required to pay on the maturity date all outstanding principal together with accrued and unpaid interest and accrued and unpaid late charges on such principal interest, if any. So just a little bit longer than a payday loan in length. We are also required to repay on the last business day of each calendar week an amount in cash equal to the positive net cash flow for such week, calculated in the same manner as used for the approved budget, if any, up to the amount of the then outstanding obligations under the notes. And those are definitely some payday loan terms. To break it down, every dollar of positive net cash flow has to go towards these notes. And remember why we take out payday loans? Because we have no other choice. Interest. The notes bear interest at a rate per annum equal to the 3-month secured overnight financing rate plus 12%. However, the interest rate of the notes is increased to the 3-month secured overnight financing rate plus 15% on overdue principal and interest. Interest shall be computed on the basis of a 360-day year and 12 30-day months, and shall be payable in arrears on the last business day of each calendar week in which interest accrues. Interest shall be paid in kind, shall accrue daily, and shall be capitalized and added to the outstanding principal on each interest payment date, payable on the maturity date. And if that sounds ugly, you're right, it is. Secured overnight financing rate is 5.3%. Plus 12, that's 17.3% interest. So basically an unsecured credit card. In other words, high interest. Events of default. If an event of default occurs, the investor may require us to redeem all or any portion of the notes in cash at a 25% redemption premium to the sum of such portion of the principal amount to be redeemed, all accrued and unpaid interest, and accrued and unpaid late charges. So if 17 sounds bad, 25 is what happens if they don't pay on time. Bankruptcy event of default mandatory redemption. If any bankruptcy event of default occurs, we shall immediately redeem in cash all amounts due under the notes, unless the investor waives such right to receive such payment. Fundamental transactions. This part's fun. The notes prohibit us from entering specified fundamental transactions, including without limitation, mergers, business combinations, and similar transactions. So a buyout is prohibited. If you're here to learn from Fisker's experience, this is how you squeeze a company when you're loaning them money, and the base case is bankruptcy. Change of control redemption right. In connection with a change of control of the company, the investor may require us to redeem in cash all or any portion of the notes at the redemption amount. So if Henrik Fisker were to leave, whoever takes over has to pay all the notes immediately. Covenants. Comply with the approved budget. Do not incur any other indebtedness or liens. We will not directly or indirectly redeem or repay any portion of indebtedness prior to the due date. No restricted investments. No dividends. No transfer or sale of assets. No new lines of business. No new debt. Maintain existence and good standing in each jurisdiction in which the transaction of its business makes such qualification necessary. No changes in accounting. Maintain and preserve all respective properties. Maintain intellectual property rights. Maintain insurance. No renewing or extending of any transaction or series of related transactions with any affiliate. No issuance of new notes. We agree to the extent legally permissible to not insist upon, plead, claim, or take the benefit of any stay, extension, or usury law that may affect our performance under the notes, and expressly waive all benefits or advantages of any such law. Pay when due all taxes, fees, and other charges in accordance with the approved budget. We will hire an independent, reputable investment bank to investigate whether any breach of the notes has occurred, if an event constituting, or that with the passage of time and without being cured would constitute an event of default. And here's the big one. We and our subsidiaries will continue to sell vehicles at auctions and through dealers and direct-to-consumer channels as contemplated by the approved budget, with all proceeds from such sales used in accordance with the approved budget. We shall continue to retain a chief restructuring officer. We shall deliver to the investor a proposed liquidation plan in form and substance acceptable to the investor on or before May 23rd, 2024. If that's not the inevitability of bankruptcy, I don't know what is. Each note may not be changed. Governing law. The notes will be governed by in accordance with laws of New York. Item 8.01, other events. On May 13th, we issued a press release announcing the signing of the securities purchase agreement. A copy of the press release is filed as Exhibit 99.1 to this current report. But that's not the only 8K that came out today. Let's look at the other one. On May 7th, 2024, PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP informed Fisker that PwC is declining to stand for reappointment as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the integrated audit of the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. There is no dispute between the company and PwC. The next paragraph is just a summary of all the findings that PwC has made during its time as auditor, which we went over in the 10K in previous videos. The company has provided PwC with a copy of the disclosures made in the current report on Form 8K prior to its filing with the SEC and requested that PwC furnish the company with a letter addressed to the SEC stating whether PwC agrees with the statements made herein. A copy of PwC's letter dated May 13th, 2024, stating that PwC agrees with the statements made herein is attached as Exhibit 16.1. The company will disclose its engagement of a new independent registered public accounting firm once the evaluation process has been completed by the audit committee and as required by and in accordance with the SEC's rules and regulations. Let's go look at the letter. We have read the statements made by Fisker Inc., which we understand will be filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission pursuant to Item 4.01 of Form 8K, dated May 7th. We agree with the statements concerning our firm contained therein. So Fisker's accounting firm is no longer working for them either. So that was a lot to digest. Here's my attempt at a conclusion based on this information. Fisker will continue to give the appearance of continued functionality until they sell every last car. Because of the new notes agreement, they cannot sell the company or merge with another one. Fisker must maintain all its other assets like IP, so the investor can collect those once the money is gone. A liquidation plan is due to the company by May 23rd based on the terms of the notes. Fisker's accounting firm has refused to continue to help. So right now it's the CRO, the note holder, and the approved budget, up to $7 million in additional capital to move the last remaining Ocean units. And there's no new lines of business, which means if dealer service is a new line of business, it's literally prohibited by the terms of the new notes. So let's hope if dealer service has been agreed to by all these dealerships that it's already been established, because it won't be established going forward. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I've got for this one. Join Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access to videos. Subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.